Hey everybody, I'm JimClassic, and you are watching Geekin. And for today's video, I would like to talk about the Star Wars Epic Hero Series subline from The Mandalorian, which is Mando, Grogu, and his N1 Naboo starfighter seen in Season 3 of The Mandalorian. Now, I would also like to talk about some of the 4-inch or 3 3/4-inch figures from this Epic Hero line, which I think came out like around April of this year. Like I said, it is the N1 Starfighter, a vehicle, a Star Wars vehicle for a 3 3/4-inch figure in 2024. And, you know, I was just absolutely compelled to pick this thing up. I picked this up at my local Target on, I think, Tuesday this week. And I was just kind of blown away by it, to be perfectly honest. Anyway, what we see here is an open package. I can touch it. I can physically touch it. We have Mando and Grogu right there. They are in behind plastic, you know. And we have a really nice box art here of the hot-rodded N1 Starfighter. We see action features. It's got action features. Can you believe this? Come on. Turn it around, and we have product shot of the back. We see the N1 fighter. We see Mando and Grogu. We see looks like it's got launching missiles. Launching missiles in 2024. Get out of here! What is going on, Hasbro? Where's all this sudden burst of enthusiasm? Anyway, hopefully the toy is as cool as I'm hyping it up. But we'll find out in a minute once we open this thing up and see what it is all about. After taking the ship and the figures out of the package, I'm not going to bury the lead here, folks. I think this thing is so freaking awesome. Look, this is just a retail version, you know, Star Wars vehicle for the 3 3/4-inch figures. All right, this is not high-quality vintage series. You know, this isn't like studio accurate. This is just a simple toy that resembles the hot-rodded N1 Starfighter, and it's awesome. Like this is a grade or two above the old Kenner ships, if that makes any sense. You know, the Kenner. If this was a Kenner thing from the '80s, it probably wouldn't look as detailed as this. I don't know. The Y-wing was pretty detailed, but like this is like, you know, similar grade to like the Kenner toys minus any electronics. But I mean, look at this thing. This is just the N1 Starfighter, but stripped down and hot rodded. And you know, I'm really liking this. No stickers, which is I'm not complaining, because you know I'm used to the old Kenner toys having stickers and them peeling and looking ugly. But anyway, it's just, you know, a stripped down version. It's got some decent detail right here. So look right here, we got like, I guess this is supposed to be like the hot rodded engine sticking out. This was definitely seen in the Mando series. Got some doodads, greeblies here. You got some removed panel ribbing right here, and some sculpting areas are painted. Now you have these like yellow streaks, and I guess this is supposed to represent rust or something, or you know, like oxidation, which well is also rust, but nothing here on the bottom. So, but it's mostly unpainted. But I'm okay with it. Again, this is not a vintage series. Like I saw the vintage version of this at like GameStop, and it was like $100 or something. I'm like, I'm not paying money for this. You know, and that's the big mistake Hasbro's making. I'm not paying $100 for a vintage series Starfighter. You know, this was $30. $30 for the ship, for the 2 figures, and Mando's accessories. I'm not gonna complain for $30. In fact, I'm for $30. I love this thing. So you see the turbine engines right there. Got some little details right here. Again, exposed engine details or greeblies and stuff. Not a lot here on the bottom. Little thing right there, a little bit more of the exposed ribbing, I guess. And this has got to be some kind of this must be the booster that Mando uses to just like really zoom away. Of course, we have Mando in the cockpit. We have Grogu in the little bubble where the droid would be. And for the tail of the N1 starfighter, it's just this exposed, superstructure, which I don't know what... I don't exactly know how this serves the N1 starfighter, but whatever. It looks kind of cool. It looks flashy. But this is fine. This is really cool. Oh, yeah, sorry. A little dusty thing. But yeah, this is fine. This is so freaking cool. This is something, I don't know, as a Star Wars fan, as a Star Wars collector, this is the kind of thing I've been kind of starving for since Disney, bought Star Wars. Yeah, there were a couple of 3 3/4-inch vehicles at the beginning, but like the Millennium Falcon for The Force Awakens was lame. Though the V-Wing or the troop carrier for Rogue One was lame. I think they re-released the Kenner X-Wing or something, and that was just about it. But there weren't a lot of vehicles for the 3 3/4-inch figures. It was all pretty lame. But this is good. I like this, Hasbro. This is just fun. It has a tab here at each of the engine pods, and what you do is, I'm gonna try it. There we go. I'll do it this way. You grab it by the tab, you rotate it, and boom, this piece opens up. You see a bunch of clear plastic here. This is when this guy's about to go into hyperdrive or something. Same thing. And then this is when, the X-Wing pilot's like, what's your credentials? It goes like, boom, just takes right off. Another cool feature is these green missiles. They are spring-loaded missiles. Little buttons right here above the cylinder. Look at that. Look at that. That is a pretty powerful missile launch right there. That is a nice, strong, spring-loaded missile. I love this thing. I'm sorry. This is... mind you, I'm an adult. I'm a 44-year-old man, everyone, okay? I'm playing with a Star Wars toy, and I'm just having a blast just holding this thing, It does... I don't know if this counts as a feature. It's probably just part of the construction, but the engine pods do come off pretty easily. They just kind of clip right in right there. I guess, it didn't come this way, but you can just remove them. I guess if you're doing, if you're having Mando do repairs in the ship or something, I guess we could do that. But yeah, that's it. I mean, that's it for the N1 fighter. We still have Grogu and Din Djarin to talk about. Now, the cool thing here, and we will talk about them, to get Grogu and Mando out, is for Grogu, it just kind of opens up like this, okay? And there is Grogu, and got some detail in there for him to just kind of chill out. There might be a little control panel there, maybe when he gets... Oh, we're focusing on the wrong things. A little control panel in there. I guess maybe when he gets older, he can be like a co-pilot. But we're going to put Grogu right there. And the cool thing with the cockpit here is that it kind of slides open, like they did in the Phantom Menace. So let me close that. I'm going to have to... The only issue I have with this is you have to apply some pressure to it. And clear plastic tends to crack easily. So, there we go. And it's a little rail right there. So, yep, just, there we go. It's down. This is as open as it gets, aside from removing it. And we're going to take Mando out. We're going to put him right there. He's going to fall over. That's okay. Now, we do see some sculpted detail. We see the seat. We see some controls and knobs. Again, nothing is painted, and maybe we can mark points off for that they didn't paint this. So again, this is a $30 figure. Maybe doing some painting on the dials and stuff should have been done. I will grant them that. But this is, at the end, this is meant to be low budget. But, not painting the controls might be a little bit too low budget. But it opens up rather well. And before we talk about Grogu and Mando, let's do a comparison. And I wasn't entirely sure I was going to be able to do this comparison because I still have a lot of stuff in storage and I'm in the process of doing some renovations. I managed to break out my 1998 N1 starfighter. And just some quick comparisons here. Well, the old N1 from the Phantom Menace is definitely larger than Mando's. Again, we're looking at a 26-year difference. About a 26-year difference. Now, it would have been nice if this was the same size as this. But unfortunately today, with the economics where they are, this probably would have been $50 instead of $30. But just as a quick size comparison, we will compare the two. I'm going to pop these missiles. But as you can see, that is the big size difference between the two. But, hey, Mando's is heavily modified and also stripped down. So I think I'm a little bit more willing to accept this as an answer. But I'm really glad I was able to find this and break it out of storage. Anywho, what we're going to do is we're going to put the N1 Starfighter back there, and we are going to talk about Mando and Grogu. Now, talking about Mando and Grogu, we're going to put Grogu down here real quick and just talk about Mando. Well, I mean, this is a 3 3/4 inch figure, just like the old Kenner toys, just like the ones from the 90s, just like the vintage figures of today, and some of the retro figures, which are just basically, remolds of Kenner designs. But Mando does look pretty good. I mean, this is nice paint, nice silver paint right here. Very simple colors, browns, burgundy, and silver. That's it. Where they skimped on the paint job on the Starfighter, they gave Mando here a decent paint job for a 5-point figure. Rotating head, shoulders, and legs can go out like that. That's basically it. Now, one thing I noticed about all of these epic hero figures is they all have a peg in their back. And one of the items that came with Mando was this jetpack. Goes right there, and it's a massive jetpack. And it doesn't really fit anywhere on the Starfighter for storage, except for one area. I think I found a good spot for this when Mando is flying around. It's a screw hole, but it just fits. It just fits, and I think that looks fine right there at the bottom. That's where Mando's jetpack will reside when he's flying around with Grogu. Anyway, no weapons for Mando, except he does come with his cloak. You can't wear the cloak and the jetpack at the same time because it just... I suppose it could, but it would just... I think one would get in the way of the other. Yeah, that's not going to work. That's not really going to work too well. But the cloak is nice, a little soft. Not a cloth material, but just a soft plastic. And for Grogu, here we have little Grogu. Look at that cute face. Will it focus? Look at that cute face. That is actually pretty good for such a small little toy. It does have some light head rotation, and the arms can rotate up. That's just about it. A little sculpted feet down there, a little 3 3/4, a little 3mm peg, so he can stand to give him a stand or whatever. But yeah, that's it. That's kind of it for That's kind of it for Mando and Grogu here. We're gonna put Mando right back into the cockpit. Put him right in there. Fits rather well. Slide the thing in. There we go. Oops. There we go. Open up the bubble. Put Grogu back into the bubble. There we go for that. Of course, what good are the vehicles without the figures to accompany them? I mean, this Epic Hero line, which I think has only been out since maybe April or something this year, just kind of came up out of the blue. These are cheap, affordable 3 3/4 inch Star Wars figures, and mostly set in the post-Jedi timeline. Like we have Luke we have Ahsoka, we have Mando. There's a bunch of other Mandalorians. I think there's even Bo-Katan, even though I only have the retro figure, but whatever, that's fine. It suits my needs. Whether this toy line is Mando series, post-Jedi, whatever, you still cannot do a Star Wars toy line without Darth Vader. Come on, what are we on, crazy pills? Darth Vader is like the face of Star Wars, aside from maybe R2-D2, but that's a different story. Now, I did get the other Mando figure that was on card, and this one does come with his gun and the Darksaber, which is, it's the same figure, same Mando figure as the one that came with the M1 fighter, except just this one's got weapons, he's got the same cloak, but no jetpack. But, you know, we can, again, put the jetpack right there if we want to. And, you know what? Mando is ready. He's ready to fight. He's ready to fly. He's ready to cut things up. He's ready to get baby Grogu back from Moff Gideon. You know, this is just a cool little figure. This is fun. I am very happy that Hasbro is, you know, making these simple 5-point figures that are decently sculpted. And here we have Darth Vader. Again, what Star Wars line is complete without Vader? He is a must-have in just about every Star Wars collection. And again, it looks good. You take the cape off. I guess you can give Darth Vader Mando's pack as well. I guess you could, you know, Darth Vader's crazy enough. He'd probably try that out. And you got some nice painting right there on the shoulders. It's not bad. This is not bad at all. Anyway, moving on to Ahsoka. And Ahsoka does look pretty good too. We got, I think that face sculpt does capture Rosario Dawson's likeness pretty well. She comes with her 2 lightsabers. They're white. And this is how she looked in the Ahsoka series. Again, not bad. 5-point fingers. 5 points of articulation. Even the head moves with the Lekus where they are, but they're limited. But still, moves a little bit better than they normally do in that kind of situation. And we have Luke Skywalker, the most optimistic Jedi in the universe. Again, 5 points. He's looking pretty good. That face sculpt does resemble Mark Hamill. He's got that doe-eyed look a little bit. Lightsaber looks good. Luke even has a backpack to put Grogu in, since this is still kind of like the Mandoverse series. These epic hero figures are actually looking pretty damn good. Now, mind you, I want to see more figures for this line, not just the Mando stuff. Like, I'm not going to collect everything. I've said it before, I'm not really a completist, but I would like to see more from this line. My guess is for this subline is Hasbro is trying to test this out in the hopes to generate interest, and I hope it's a success. Star Wars is best with vehicles. That's like half the joy. A 3 3/4 inch figure line with vehicles? Yes, please. I like the Black Series. I think it's a good line for collectors, for displays. You know, I like the attention to detail. I like the face sculpts. I like the fact that these are larger figures, but these are for displays. Things like this? Vehicles with launching missiles? This is the kind of stuff that makes me feel like a little kid again. This is what brings out my inner child. These cool figures, these cool vehicles, you can just kind of zoom around. This is what brings out my inner child. You know, bring back more vehicles for the 3 3/4 inch figures, because this is where the fun begins. I'm JimClassic. You have been watching Geekin, and I will see you next time. Take care, everybody.